So the video game company Bandai Namco has 200 of their employees locked in a dungeon of boredom. And what I mean by that is exactly what I just said. Crazy concept online these days, I know. But in order to fully expand, I need to talk about Japan's culture for a second. See, Japan has a work culture that is a lot different than you might think. In Japan, when you get a job, you are pretty much expected to work at that company for the rest of your life. And because that is the cultural norm in that country, there are a lot of laws that reflect that. So if you are an employer, you cannot just fire your employee for any reason. But unlike a lot of countries that have those rules, Japan actually takes them seriously. If you fire an employee and it's not a good enough reason, you are getting a lawsuit almost guaranteed. And for employees, this is intended to be a good thing. I mean, it is a good thing. You should have a valid reason for firing someone. You can't just treat humans like a number because the business requires you to. I'm sorry, if your business requires that, it probably shouldn't be around. Now, with that in mind, think back to what I said about the dungeon. Yes, we're going back to the dungeon, and this is not even like the fun type of dungeon, if you get what I mean. It's a dungeon of boredom. Now, all this information about Bandai Namco is coming directly from an article from Bloomberg. If you want to check that out at the end of this video, I will put it in the About section. I got you. So what these companies will do is they'll design a room to be as boring as possible. And that's what Bandai Namco is allegedly doing to 200 of their employees. Now, this is coming directly from employees that are working inside the company right now. Of course, they did not want their names shared for very obvious reasons, but that's where the source is coming from. That means 200 people every single day are going to work and just doing nothing. They're told to go to an office, stay in that office, and don't do anything. And if this sounds like something that is very outlandish, may I remind you that in 2001, Sega had an entire floor of their company that was just designed for this purpose. If I remember correctly, other employees did not even know that the floor existed. It was just like not in their mind whatsoever. That's how much the company ignored them. Now, in that situation, thankfully, Sega lost a lawsuit and the employees got a payout, as they should. But as somebody that has reported video games for almost 10 years now online, I feel like I have some obligation to talk about this. I don't really want to be talking about this. I would much rather be talking about exciting news. This to me is not that exciting. This to me is wildly unethical, and it shouldn't be on me to report this. Like, why is this not being talked about more? And I think the thing that bothers me the most here is that I know some of those 200 employees have worked directly on games that I've enjoyed. And because of that, I just don't think I'd feel right if I didn't talk about this. This is just not something that should be okay in an era of information. But anyways, yep, that's just my random thoughts about things. Like always, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace. And if you'd like to, you can check out some of my older videos. There's 2 of them on the screen right now, if for some reason you can't see them. Did you leave the room when I was talking? Mid-conversation? How dare you? Shame on you. I forgive you, but you're gonna have to watch one of these videos, you know? It's only fair. Don't make me lock you in a dungeon of boredom.